All right, this is Chris Anderson from 3DRobotics. Chris, first of all, thanks for helping put together what is our cover model on our drones issue. I think it turned out beautifully. You got a fantastic team that's putting together some really interesting pieces. But how's today been here at the meetup?
What's to argue with? We're out in the sun. Drones are flying. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. So Iris came out just a little bit over a month ago.
Actually, it's coming out on February 17th.
Okay.
So we had a developer release earlier, but the consumer one's coming out in less than a month.
Okay. How excited are you about that?
So excited. This is like, we've been working on it for so long and, tweaking and tweaking and tweaking and to finally get it out there.
I got to fly a test flight of it, and I'm admittedly not a very good pilot, but at our meetup that we had a couple months back, and that thing flies really nicely.
Well, thank you. The whole point of autonomy, of real autopilots, is that you don't have to be a good pilot. If you want to just sort of switch into loiter mode and it just kind of pops up, does one thing, now you can think about the camera rather than the vehicle. But if you really want to fly it, then you just switch to another mode and off you go.
So what happens, this comes out, you guys got to start working on what's next.
Iris 2 and etc. We've just done our kind of migration from our 8-bit platform, which is based on Arduino, to our 32-bit platform. So that's, doing those kind of platform changes is it's a lot of work, but it opens up this huge amount of overhead in terms of, or headroom rather, in terms of the processing power. The question is now, what are we going to do with it? Right. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, image processing, more and more advanced software functions that make these things easier and easier to use.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things that we've really been looking at in this magazine, this issue specifically. The, what are the things that people have been doing to push the hobby in the next steps? There's a certain point when you've flown enough times and you need to do something more.
Absolutely. I think we went from getting a robot to fly to doing something with it. The first part was getting to fly, and it was like soldering irons and compilers. Then there was like making it easier to fly, and I think that's where we are right now. Then they're carrying cameras, GoPros and beyond. And then the next question is, okay, how do I get epic video? How do I have like the director's view without having to have a Steven Spielberg on hand? And that our creative function, that our sort of, forget the vehicle. Just what is the camera seeing? What would be the perfect panning angle? How do I sort of, press a button and get something that's just going to be, spectacular on YouTube? I think that's the next frontier for where we're going now.
Do you think, what's the point where, what happens where everyone says, I need one of those in my house? Or has that point already happened?
That point has not happened right now. I think, anyone who's seen one says that looks cool, looks like fun, etc. Most people think it looks hard. So we need to make it look easier, make it be easier. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got your camera, and you just we've been stuck to the to eye level for the entirety of human existence. Now we know we're not stuck. We can put a camera, we can put our eyes anywhere we want, but what's the easy way? I mean, if you were a director here, would you just sort of say, go? Would you use your finger? Would you use your hand like this? Would you sort of, maybe you'd use your phone and just do a pinch and zoom? But the point is that putting cameras in the air is now something within reach of everybody. And now we can start to ask questions like, what are they seeing? What would be the Hollywood, shot here? And how do I get that? And how does software help me?
It's exciting stuff to think about. The stuff that we've already hit has blown my mind in a lot of different ways, and it's exciting to think of the next generation and what they start doing. And a meetup like today, I feel like there's some of the people that are working on some of those things already actively. So it's what's really exciting about it for me.
I think the two things most exciting for me are, first, what people do creatively with it, and that's all making it easier to use, more autonomous, etc. And the second is this platform, this ability to hack it, to add features, things we've never thought of. That's equally exciting, and that's one thing we emphasize. We're an open platform. Anybody can change it, modify it, add features to it. And I have no idea what they're going to come up with. I'd like them to just blow me away with some spectacular feature that makes perfect sense, and they did it, not us. And the nice thing is, when they do it and they give it back to the community, then everybody gets it.
Absolutely. So, legislation-wise, give me your dream scenario. What happens in a couple years as everything starts getting written down and firmed up with signatures?
Yeah, well, today we're flying under the recreational exemptions, under 400 feet, visual line of sight, and that's fine. And the consumers have led this drone revolution to date, in part because of these regulatory exemptions. There's a process to allow commercial use. So today we're not far from Napa Valley, the vineyards, etc. These things could be doing crop surveys as well. But the legality of that in the United States is not yet well established. That's been going slower. than people had hoped. We're kind of agnostic on this for a couple reasons. First of all, we're happy with a consumer-led industry. We're happy to kind of put things in the hands of regular people so that when the consumer use, the commercial use comes along, that the platforms are just that much more sophisticated and easier to use. Secondly, there's a big world out there. This is the United States, but in fact, most drones are used outside of the United States, and they don't have these same restrictions. So I'd like the regulations to happen sooner rather than later, but in the meantime, we can do so much in terms of advancing the technology that I'm not held back.
Makes sense. All right, well, thanks, Chris, and I'm watching you guys excitedly.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, keep up the good work.